This is the CM28 Pro. It's a dual wireless microphone system made by a company called Neewer. Now, I've been in the market for one of these dual wireless microphones for a while now, and I've looked at some of the offerings from Rode as well as from DJI, and they make great premium options, but they also come in at a price point to match. So for one of those, you're looking at spending upwards of about $400. And for someone like me who shoots video pretty casually and even less frequently needs to mic up a second person, and also on top of that being someone who already has a Rode wireless single microphone, it's been hard to justify spending that for a system like this. But this microphone here retails for somewhere around $140, and you can frequently catch it on sale. I picked this up for $65. And at that price point, it's like 20 or 30% of the cost of one of the more premium microphone systems. And I was pretty surprised at some of the features it offered. So in this video, we're going to do an overview of this microphone. We're going to look at some of the features that are included in it. And then if you stick around with me, we're going to do some audio tests. We're going to test and see how does the audio compare to my Rode Wireless Go microphone. We're going to try the noise reduction feature and see how well that works. And then maybe we'll do a range test. So anyway, let's get into it. All right, so let's open this thing up. So here we've got the battery case. And then we've got a baggie here with an assortment of cables. So I'll get some of those out here so we can take a look at them. And then we'll take a look here at this case. So when you open this case up, it automatically wakes up your transmitters as well as your receiver, and they automatically pair. So that's pretty cool. This battery case, according to Neewer, will recharge them up to 2 times. And I believe your battery life is somewhere around 6 to 8 hours depending on the mode that you're in. So here with this receiver, microphone jack, so if you want to hook up a lavalier. There's also a USB-C port, and you're probably wondering why that is. And that is because this has 4 gigabytes of storage, and you can record an audio track directly on your receiver. So that allows you to have a backup option should you lose connection with your receiver. So if you're in a difficult condition or there's lots of obstacles, this might be something you want to use. There's a few buttons on here, a few LED indicators. So one of them indicates that you have a connection to your receiver. The other one tells you whether or not you're in recording mode. You also have options to mute your audio track here, and as well as to activate the noise reduction feature. You've got a clip here, so you can clip it to your clothing. There's also a magnet. And this magnet allows you to connect it anywhere to your clothing as well. So it's nice to have an alternate option for connecting it to you. Range between your receiver and your transmitter is about 200 meters or a little bit over 650 feet. Now I'm sure that depends on what the terrain and if there's obstacles in between. All right, let's take a look here at the receiver. So the receiver, if you look right here, it's got a couple of indicators. Some of them show you that you're connected to each of your transmitters. There's also the little gain meter that shows how strong your input is from them. And then you can adjust the dB here of your gain. And then there's several different modes for recording. So the first one is what they call mono. And what it does is it pairs both of your inputs from your transmitters directly into one track. The other mode is stereo, and what it does is it separates each receiver onto its own track, so you can adjust the gain separately. I think this will be really helpful if you have someone who speaks at a much louder volume and the other person that's more quiet. And then there's another mode called MS, and I think that stands for mono safety. And so what it does is just like it does in the mono mode, it has that primary track, but then it has a secondary backup track that's doing the same thing, but it's 6 dB lower or something of that nature. And so basically, since I should have mentioned this earlier, this is a 16-bit recording quality for your bit depth. And so what it does is it creates that second track that's recorded at 6 dB lower. So some of your more premium microphones have a higher bit depth, like 24-bit or 32-bit, and basically that's like your dynamic range of your audio. So if you have 32-bit, theoretically you can't peak your audio because it has such a wide dynamic capture ability. But if you're in 16-bit, that can be a little bit more of an issue. But the thing is, if you're recording in a normal audio level, 16-bit is plenty, and you really can't tell a difference between 16-bit, 24-bit, and 32-bit unless you're at the outer ranges of being really high or really low. So just kind of wanted to point that out. There's also a headphone jack on here so that you can listen to your audio directly on your receiver. And then there's this clip here. The nice thing about the clip is it's the correct width so that you can slide it into the hot shoe of your camera, or if you're pairing this with your phone or something else, you can clip it to your clothing or to whatever else you want to connect it to. So I think that kind of goes over the main features there of the microphones. And then let's get to some of the accessories. So they included 2 dead cats or little muffs to help with wind noise. That's nice. And then here on the connectors, so there's a TRS to Lightning. So this is helpful if you want to connect to an older iPhone. Then we have a USB-C to TRS. So this will connect between your microphone and a newer iPhone or an Android. Then there is a TRS to TRS. So this would be the cable that you'd use to connect your microphone to your digital camera. And then there are a couple of USB-A to USB-C. Those will allow you to get the audio track off of your receivers. So I think that kind of goes over the main features of the microphone system. Now let's go ahead and test it in the field, and we'll see how it compares to my Rode wireless microphone. And then also let's see how that noise reduction feature works. All right, let's go. This is using the CM28 Pro. And I want to see how does this audio compare to when I switch over to using my Rode wireless microphone. So let's switch now. All right, so this is now capturing the audio using my Rode Wireless Go. This is the original version, but this should be capturing audio in 24-bit, where, as I mentioned, the CM28 is in 16-bit. So can you hear a difference in the audio, or does it sound about the same to you? All right, so I'm just recording here next to my HVAC system, so that we're getting a little bit of noise there. And I'm going to now activate the noise reduction or noise canceling feature. There's also a vehicle driving by right now. Isn't that impressive how much it cleans up? All right, I'll flip it off again here. That's without the noise reduction. I'm sure you can hear this HVAC system running behind me. Then I'm going to activate it again here. So the noise reduction is quite helpful. I think it'll be very useful, especially when we're out vlogging or doing something like that. Well, now that I've pulled the audio back into my video editing software and listened to it, I have to say I am impressed. The Rode Wireless Go versus the CM28 Pro, to me I can hardly tell a difference in the audio. And that's impressive. Coming in at $65, I am really impressed with this system. And I have to say the noise reduction actually worked really well. And when I'm out vlogging, I think it'll be so nice to have something like this that can clean up the audio, because when you're out vlogging, you can't really control your environment too much. And sometimes you're going to be around noisy conditions, and to be able to just click a button and clean up that audio is going to be super helpful. So I have to say, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with the $65 I spent on this. I'd love to get your thoughts on this microphone. Is it something that you think you'll purchase, or did you choose to go with something else? Do you think you'll be happy with a more basic budget system like this, or do you think you'll spend the money on something like the Rode or the DJI? Anyway, till next time, take care.